Hello, I'm Philip Stoten for EMSNow. I'm here at SMTAI in Texas, and I'm joined by Bob Black from Juki. Bob, always good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Nice to see you, Phil.
Last year or so, you've been introducing quite a lot of new products, quite a lot of different elements of the line, apart from just placement. We'll talk about placement, but tell me a bit about how the other areas are selling here in the US.
Happy to. Well, we started first with the printers with our partnership with GKG in China, and that's gone very well. We had budgeted the first full year to sell 25 printers, which I thought, being new in the printer market, 2 a month would be an ambitious goal. We're going to close the first year with almost 60. Yeah. And I think the fact that we've put a very reasonable price on the printer. We've tried to keep a fair margin for ourselves, but not an excessive margin, has really made a statement in the printer business, and we see now several of our larger, more established printer competitors coming down to meet our price. So obviously we were right in our price targeting. I guess these guys have been making a lot of money the last few years.
So you're shaking that market up a little bit. What do you put that success down to? Because Chinese manufactured printer, obviously initially people's concerns would have been
no question. I mean, the first 3 or 4 months it was, oh well, it's a Chinese printer. But I have to point out what today isn't a Chinese printer.
Yeah.
DEC's largest factory is in Shenzhen, only 10 kilometers from ours. MPM is 5 kilometers further down the road, and the Ekra guys have just moved in from Malaysia for their E-series. So, most of the printers in the world are manufactured in Shenzhen. I think it's not where the printer is manufactured, it's how it's manufactured and what is the quality. And what we did was, first of all, we have a Chinese printer, but all of the electronics is Japanese. We have a Japanese industrial computer, Japanese servo controllers, Japanese power supplies. There is no Chinese electrical component in the machine. GKG is doing all the machining of the metal parts of the machine themselves, and we've had the CTEC guys in to do accuracy tests of the machines, and actually the GKG guys were so impressed with them that they've hired them now to monitor their own production, even for Chinese customers. So we're making a quality product backed with good service, and I think that's a good way to build a business.
Yeah, and they have a pretty impressive install platform in Asia themselves, don't they? It's not like they're new to the business at all.
No, they have almost 5,000 printers installed in China and about 2,000 in the rest of Asia. So, they've got a considerable installed base, considering the fact the company's only been around for about 10 years.
Yeah. And what about ovens? You have an oven partnership as well.
Yeah,
how's
the JT, that's growing. It's a little bit behind the printers because we started a little later, but we have quite a few customers already, and that business is growing steadily. But we found the oven business was much more competitive. Prices were already pretty good. Everybody is in the pond in China already. I mean, BTU, Vitronics, and so forth. So there we're pushing on a good price performance and a good service. All of these machines we're giving the 1-year labor, 3-year parts warranty, the same as we do on the Juki placement machines. So it's sort of an across-the-board guarantee to the customer that it's a good product. We're going to stand behind it.
And you're going to support it.
Yeah.
And it must be useful for you as the pick-and-place supplier to be able to look both ways up the line and to be able to tune the line and understand what's going on in both directions. I guess you've always done that.
Yeah, well, it is, but also to be honest, we have a lot of customers, especially in the South American market, that want complete lines. And they basically say, Juki, quote a complete line or don't quote. Yeah. And Panasonic has always been able to quote a complete line. They make every piece of the line themselves. Fuji gets ovens, I think, from a supplier, but the rest of it they make, and they offer complete lines. We have to do the same. Yeah. So that's one reason for being in the business. And we're happy to work with whatever the customer wants to do. If he's interested in our printer or oven, wonderful. If he's got a preference for one of the other companies, we're happy to work with that too.
Yeah, so there's some flexibility there. And in terms of the way the line does operate together, I was at a couple of factories recently and we were talking about changeover. I kind of always assumed that changeover times were down to pick and place, but quite often they are down to the oven, the changeover speed of the oven, changing that thermal profile, which takes time. Is that a challenge you see out there?
Yes, I think that it's an often ignored challenge. Customers who are paying particular attention to the thermal profile, that can be the gate, even longer than changing the screen printer and replacing the stencil. We work to try to maximize the amount of use and minimize the changeover time, and there are techniques you can use to speed that up.
Yeah. In terms of planning and in terms of
and we do a lot of work with Kick. All of our ovens have the Kick, program predictor embedded in the software, and they have some good ways to monitor that. So we're working with them to minimize that time too.
Yeah. Okay. And yesterday I was at the ACD facility in Richardson. Some very impressive Juki lines there. They're very proud of the lines they put in there, and they seem to be doing pretty well as a business, picking up some good solid work, growing. Are you seeing plenty of examples of that in the US?
Oh yes, I mean we have quite a few customers that are doing very well these days and growing, and Encore for one is also really booming. We have several creation technology plants that are doing quite well. So we have quite a number of customers that are growing nicely.
Along. Yep. And do you put that down to some kind of reshoring, or do you think it's just good, solid local business that isn't super margin sensitive, isn't super price sensitive?
There is some onshoring going on. I think some companies are realizing they're just not saving money in China on products that aren't particularly high volume, and it's more convenient to do them locally. But there's a lot of existing business in medical, in even in military, in spite of the sequester that companies are doing. So, and the economy seems to be getting a little better. Knock on wood. We can hopefully look forward to a stronger year in 2014.
Yeah, particularly if the government starts working again here, that'll help.
Yeah, well, as long as the right parts of government start working again.
Some functionality there. And last question, we're just a month out from Productronica, always a big event, always one where people tend to bring new things to the market. What can we expect to see from Juki there?
Well, Juki will have quite a few new things at Productronica as part of our recently done merger with Sony. We are bringing our first placement machine that integrates Sony and Juki technology. It's a high-speed chip shooter module with about 70,000 CPH that's less than a meter wide.
Wow.
And we'll pair that with a new fine pitch flexible placer that's about 1.2 meters wide that also can do very high speed on fine pitch. It can run standalone fine pitch at about 15,000 an hour and about 40,000 an hour for normal parts. So, these new modules will be able to gang together, and it's a different approach than our large competitors at Panasonic or Fuji. But we think we'll give them a run for their money with their higher speed platforms with these new machines.
Yeah. Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you in Munich. Thanks for stopping by, Bob, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.